getting Rumble going here. And hello, good morning, and welcome to the State and History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with what do we got on November 3rd?
361 Roman Emperor, I can't say Emperor today. Emperor
We're starting early,
Constantine
huh?
II dies at Mopscoring en route to put down his general and cousin Julian, whose troops had proclaimed him Augustus.
Yeah, and the other source here claims that on his deathbed he baptized and declared his cousin Julian rightful successor. So that is a massive discrepancy right there. You know, like he's putting him down. And I think the other source is wrong because I have heard maybe of this particular specific circumstance. Uh, his troops, because I do remember, I think it was Julian here. His troops proclaimed him Augustus, which means Caesar, which is a direct contradiction to the current Roman Emperor Constantius. So, from those accounts, he was going there to dissolve that, not to agree. But I don't know. Anyway, what else do we got?
644 ibn al-Khattab, second Muslim caliph, is injured in an assassination attempted by Medina and Lu, an enslaved Persian captain, dies 4 days later.
Dang.
Mm.
We got it off a main source here. 1333, the river Arno flooded, causing massive damage in Florence, as recorded by the Florentine chronicler Giovanni Villani. So we don't really get, that much, things in history recognizing the actual historian who wrote it down, let alone naming it. So that's pretty cool. What do we got here in 1394? Here we go again.
1394, Jews are expelled from France by Charles VI.
Why? Like, I'm gonna look that up here really quick. That is the wrong copy. There we go. Paste. History of the Jews in France. Okay. Well, that's just telling me that. Well, let's see here. 1394. Control F. 1394. Okay, a bronze Hanukkah lamp dating from before the expulsion of the 1394. So this is what the menorah looked like back then. That's an interesting thing. Very different than what we know today. But let's see here. Is there any here? Expulsion of 1394. September 17th, 1394, which has to be old style, I think. I don't know. Well, Charles VI suddenly published an ordinance in which he declared, in substance, that for a long time he had been taking note of the many complaints provoked by the excesses and misdemeanors which the Jews committed against Christians, and that the prosecutors, having made several investigations, had discovered many violations by the Jews of the agreement they had made with them. Therefore he decreed as an irrevocable law and statute that henceforth no Jew should dwell in his domains. According to the Regilo de Saint Denis, the king signed this decree at the instance of the queen. The decree was not immediately enforced. So basically they were causing trouble, and he's just like, you know what, you're gone. So here we finally get an answer to the question we've been asking for a long time.
Finally.
They were causing problems.
They were oppressing.
Yeah.
They were oppressing Christians.
Yep. As they do, as they have been since the very beginning. That's why they killed Jesus. So now we have an answer. And anyway. 1492, a peace of Etables signed between Henry VIII of England and Charles VIII of France, ending an English invasion of France and French support for the Yorkish pretender Perkin Warbeck. All right. 1493 as well, Christopher Columbus first sighted land on his second voyage, the island of Dominica in the Windward Islands, Caribbean Sea. All right. 1529, the first sitting of the Reformation Parliament in London. So that has to be, Martin Luther and his Reformation with the Protestants. What do we got in 1534?
English Parliament passes the Act of Supremacy, making Henry VIII and all subsequent monarchs the head of the Church of England.
Yeah. Supplanting the Pope and the Roman Catholic Church.
Huh.
Never heard of that word. Well, that's why, he, as you know, as a lot of people know, like why he made the Church of England, because the Vatican would not let him get divorced. So supersede and replace is to supplant, to supplant. So yeah, as it's known, this was made to basically boot out the Vatican and make their own church, so he can do what he wanted.
Hmm.
Yeah.
1579, Francis Drake arrives at Tenerife of the East Indies and making trade treaty with the Sultan of Tenerife buys cargo of cloves.
Ah, cloves of what? Garlic? Like a 4-leaf clovers or something like. Oh, that's a
I
question.
believe cloves was a thing.
Yeah. What are cloves? Hold on. What are cloves? Clove. Oh, okay. They are native to the Maluku Islands or Moluccas in Indonesia and are commonly used as a
Yeah.
spice, flavoring, or fragrance in consumer products. Okay. What was this?
Fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
1620, great patent granted to Plymouth Colony. What? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I guess
What does
establishing
that
it as a
mean?
colony? Oh. Let's see here. 1620, we got that. 1640, here we go.
English Long Parliament forms.
Ah, all right.
And in 1655, England and France signed military and economic treaties.
Ooh, so they're finally working together. That's good.
1656, Treaty of Vilnius, Russia and Poland signed anti-Swedish covenant.
Ooh,
Oh boy,
yeah,
not looking good for Swedish.
yeah. Well, the
Swedes.
Swedes, like they have all those mountains and everything, so I don't think they were under too much threat. So, 1716 here, treaty signed ending the Polish Civil War between the Tarnogro Confederates and Saxon forces led by Augustus II. Tsar Peter the Great's influence and support for Augustus II led to the Silent Sejm and Russian involvement. So the last Tsar of Russia. 1752, George Frederick Handel underwent a failed eye operation. Yikes. That doesn't sound too good there. 1762, Spain acquired Louisiana. All right, well, they had to. Well, huh. So this must have been before the Louisiana Purchase, but we bought that from France, from Napoleon. So at some point, France must have, I guess they took over Spain or something for a point and then acquired it somehow. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. How did it go from Spain to France? And I know how it came into our possession. So 1783.
1783, George Washington orders Continental Army to be disbanded.
Yep. We spoke about that yesterday, right? Like he said goodbye to them and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
1783, John Austin, a footpad turned murderer. What's a footpad? And the last to be publicly hanged at London's Tyburn Gallows.
A footpad, if I remember correctly, and if the WoW definition is correct, remember the Defias footpads and all that stuff? They're thieves. So he was a thief and he became a murderer. Oh. Yeah, remember like the Defias footpads and whatnot in Westfall? Oh. And then one more 1700s for you.
1796, John Adams, elected second president of United States of America.
All right. 1812, French Napoleonic armies were defeated at Vyazma by a Russian force commanded by General Milo Dvorak. All right. 1813, U.S. troops under General Coffee. What? Coffee. Okay. Did you just take a sip of the general? I,
Oh yeah.
I had a taste of the General this morning. That sounds weird.
James Jones coffee.
So U.S. troops under
Not
General
the
Coffee
drink.
were they annihilated the Red Stick Creek Indian village at Tallahassee, Alabama. Yikes, that's not good. So more genocide of the natives from the white man. So 1817, first permanent bank in British North America, the Bank of Montreal was founded, later becoming Canada's oldest chartered bank. I wonder if the Bank of Montreal is still even around. So let's look this up here really quick. It might have a different name. Bank of Montreal. Okay, well, it is. It looks like it's still around. Formerly Montreal Bank from 1817 to 1822, but now it's still around. Looks like. Oh yeah.
Oh, RMG launch.
What?
What's up?
Oh hey, how you doing? We got
He says hello.
our buddy. Oh, on
Yeah,
your end. All right. Hello,
I
RNG.
see. I'm showing it.
Let's see here. Oh, yes. Hello. Oh, RMG. Oh, hello. How you doing today? Let's see here. What else do we got? 1820.
1820. Santa Ana de los Rios de Sena, Ecuador declares independence.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, we have several independent
Nice.
and things like that going on today.
All right. 1838. The Times of India, the world's largest circulated English language daily broadsheet newspaper, is founded as the Bombay Times and the Journal of Commerce.
That's interesting because at the time India was known as a British Raj. It was taken over by Britain, so they speak English, and that makes sense that they would found an English-speaking newspaper. But just because, pardon me, just because of the massive population of that region, it became the largest English-speaking newspaper in an area where they usually speak like, was it Punjab or what's their language called? Not sure if that's the correct one. 1839, we have the Palace of Gulen in Turkey. Freedom of religion was proclaimed. Good. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
1848, John Thorbecks proclaimed a greatly revised Constitution of the Netherlands, transferring much authority from the king to his parliament and ministers. Good. He's slowly dissolving his own power slightly. It's power to the people. The power is always in the people. And if government documents don't recognize that, revolution is imminent. So, 1867, we have the Battle of Mentana. French and Papal state troops defeated Italian volunteers led by Giuseppe Garibaldi, failing to end the Pope's temporal power in Rome, only to be achieved 3 years later. So, as I've spoken before, Giuseppe Garibaldi was the second reunificator, or was a reunificator of Italy. Italy having been unified under Rome a long time ago, and then they got reunified into Italy as we know it today. What do we got here in 1868?
Relax says he's doing well. We like to thank you for joining us. Thanks for commenting. That's awesome. Thank you. All right. 1868. John Willis Menard, Louisiana, is elected the first black U.S. congressman. Opposition to his election means he never sits in Congress. What? Did I mess up? Are you muted? What's going on? Are you muted?
Oh, whoops, that was my bad. I'm stupid. What it says on the other source here is he's a Republican. So the first black U.S. congressman who never got to seat, unfortunately, was a Republican. Very contrary to what people believe is true history. So What else do we got here?
1868, Ulysses S. Grant wins U.S. presidential election over Horatio Seymour.
Seymour! Huh, I just had to. Oh, Superintendent Chalmers. So, what are we going to do?
1869, Canada's Hamilton Football Club born.
All right.
1883, American Old West self-describes Black Bart the poet gets away with his last stagecoach robbery and leaves an incriminating clue that eventually leads to his capture.
Whoopsie doodles. No,
Whoops.
don't leave clues. No.
He's trying to be a smartass.
Yeah.
I bet.
1883 as well, U.S. Supreme Court decided federal courts have no jurisdiction over Native American Tribal Council ex parte Crow Dog. So I agree with that. Let the natives, have some self-governance. I mean, we already took way too much of them. So,
Indeed.
yeah. 1885, Tacoma vigilantes drove out Chinese, burning their homes and businesses. Yikes. Absolute yikes.
Mm.
And if people can't think that that would happen again in this country, you're sorely mistaken. They're trying to do that to certain people right now. So, 1888, Concertgebouw Orchestra debuted in the Concertgebouw, Amsterdam, under the baton of founding conductor William Kess. Cool. 1889, Chaplain Arians founded the first Roman Catholic workers group. Okay, that sounds interesting. Then 1896, J.H. Hunter patented a portable weighing scales. That's a great thing, for people who sell weed and stuff like that. Maybe other things. So, gold, selling gold, whatever. What else do we got here in 1896?
Martha Hughes, candidate of Utah, elected first female state senator in the U.S.
All right. Yeah.
It's earlier than I thought it would be, but
yeah, 1896. Wow, that was before women could even vote. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
1896, William McKinley defeats William Jennings Bryan to be president of the United States.
All right. Yeah, like back in the day, before they changed it and all that stuff, they used to vote in January, and it took position in November, and now they have it back reversed. Now we vote in November, and they start in January, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one boggles my mind.
1889, world heavyweight boxing champion James J. Jeffries retains title, beats Irishman Tom Sharkey on points in 25 rounds at Coney Island Athletic Club, Brooklyn, New York City.
25 rounds, man. Like,
they fight all day.
Might as well, dude. I mean,
24 hours.
For those who do not fully understand why King and I are both flabbergasted at this, consider this. Each round lasts 3 minutes. Alright? Now imagine sitting there, punching, ducking and weaving, doing the rope-a-dope, doing all that, dancing around for 3 minutes straight. You get a little break. Now do that again 24 more times. Can you do it? I don't think so. These guys did. I mean, today there's rules that it can go no further than 15 rounds, and that's 10, but below this. That is incomprehensible.
Mike Tyson says everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yes, that's very true. So, thankfully, I've been on the giving side of that plan once, but never the receiving. Yeah. So. 1900, first U.S. automobile show opened at Madison Square Garden in New York City. All right. Spoke about the first, car in the first automobile race, period, I think, yesterday. So, 3 years later, with the encouragement of the United States, Colombia granted independence to Panama. All right. So that sounds a little, red flaggy there. 1903 as well, Giovanni Giolitti became Prime Minister of Italy, a progressive liberal who would hold this post through most of the next decade and introduce social, agrarian, and labor reforms. I don't know what to think about that. So, 1905, what do we got here?
Tsar Nicholas II of Russia signs a document of amnesty for political prisoners.
All right. Oh, he's giving a little bit of leeway. That's nice.
1906 International Radio Telegraph Conference in Berlin selects SOS distress signal as worldwide standard for help.
Yep. And for those who
All
cannot
right.
read Morse code, it's so that's what it sounds like if you're a ship operator, like that. In 1908, we got another president thing.
1908 William Howard Taft re-elected 27th U.S. president over William Jennings Bryan.
So, William versus William. Battle of Wills. Well, 1911, Chevrolet officially entered the automobile market in competition with the Ford Model T. All right. Now, wait a minute. How the hell does Chevrolet have a Ford? That makes no sense. Aren't they two companies, or does Chevrolet own Ford?
No, they're two different companies.
So how the hell did they enter the automobile market with a Ford product? That's weird.
They're in competition with the Ford product.
Oh, okay. I'm stupid. What else do we got here?
1914, first modern elastic brassiere is patented in New York socialite Caris E. Crosby.
So the bra? Is that what a
Oh,
brassiere?
brassiere.
What's a brassiere? What's a brassiere? What is this?
Brassiere is a bra.
It is a bra. Okay. So the first elastic bra. All right. So some history for the over-the-shoulder boulder holder. What else do we have?
1916 treaty established between British. Wait. Treaty establishes British suzerainty over Kuwait. What's that mean?
I'm going to look that up right now. Where the subordinate party is called a vassal state, or tributary state, the dominant party is called a suzerain. So the Brits were the suzerains over Qatar. All right. I learned a new word today. Nice. 1917.
Word for their colony.
Yeah. 1917 here, first class U.S. mail now costs 3 cents per ounce. 1918, the Austro-Hungarian Empire dissolved. Yep, after the First World War. They were part of the Central Powers that lost. Also, in 1918, Poland proclaimed independence from Russia after the First World War. All right. And, the next 100 years would not be very smooth sailing for them. Poor Poland. 1918 as well. German Revolution of 1918-1919 began when 40,000 German sailors with a fleet at Kiel mutinied, seized the city, and set up councils of workers and sailors. So they just took it. 1920, during the Russian Civil War, the Russian army retreated to Crimea after a successful offensive by the Red Army and Revolutionary Insurgent Army of Ukraine. All right. 1922, Greek Parliament banned Prince Andreas for life. Why? Let's take a surface level scratch at this article here. Greek War of Independence. All right. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find this. Prince Andreas. Here we go. At the same time, conventional naval actions were also fought with naval commanders like Andreas distinguished themselves. But they banned him for life for some reason. Andreas Pepinos took advantage to launch a fireship attack. So maybe that was the banker. This is a different Andreas. So, alright. Well, if anybody can figure this out, let us know in the comment section. That'd be swell. 1926, legendary baseball figure Ty Cobb resigned as Detroit Tigers manager, replaced by George Moriarty, first man to hold MLB's 4 principal jobs: player, umpire, scout, and manager. So 4. 1927, 22.3 centimeters of rainfall at Somerset, Vermont, set state record. But what is that to inches? 22 centimeters to inches. Let's see here. 22 centimeters to inches converter. So 8.77. So there's a 8.77 inches. All right. 1930, the Bank of Italy renamed themselves as the Bank of America, to make themselves seem more approachable. And they're one of the worst banks in the entire world. Do not use them. Figure something else out. Wells Fargo ain't that good either. Chase is definitely not good. I don't know where to go, but the bankers just need to go. 1929. Actually, let's go back because I screwed that up on the script here. The Gwangju Student Independence Movement occurred. Okay, well, what was the Gwangju Student Independence Movement? Let's look this up here really quick. Let's see. There we go. It was a protest in Gwangju between October and November of 1929 against the Japanese occupation of Korea. That's understandable. It is considered the second most important Korean independence movement in the period of the Japanese occupation of Korea, with the March 1st movement considered the most important rebellion. All right. So yeah, get Japan the hell out of Korea. We are being joined by
the Golden Loon.
Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Yeah. 1930, first vehicular tunnel to a foreign country between Detroit and Windsor opened. So it must be Detroit, Michigan to Windsor, Ontario, I presume.
I guess.
Like Ontario, Canada, so like between the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah.
So, you know what, let's see here. Detroit, Windsor. Let's look this up here really quick. Detroit, Windsor tunnel. Yeah, Detroit, Windsor tunnel. So, yeah, maps. Give me some maps here. Oh. Here we go. So it's still in effect today. Yeah, United States and Canada. That's weird.
Yeah.
You're going south into Canada. What?
Yeah.
What? Like that hurts my brain.
Yeah.
Like,
that is kind of weird.
Yeah. So, and here's Windsor. So yeah, that is Ontario, the province. Yeah. So 1930 as well, Getúlio Vargas became head of the provisional government in Brazil after a bloodless coup on October 24th. Yeah.
At least it was bloodless.
Well, so they say. 31, first commercially produced synthetic rubber manufactured. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. 34 as well. New York Yankees first baseman Lou Gehrig won American League Triple Crown after hitting .363 with 49 home runs and 165 RBIs. Runnings, battings, ins.
Runs batted in, yeah.
Okay. But the Detroit Tigers catcher-manager Mickey Cochrane, with .320, 2 home runs, and 76 RBIs, was named American League MVP. That's not right.
Doesn't sound right.
What the hell?
You win the Triple Crown and don't get the MVP? Come on.
Screw Mickey Cochrane. I mean, dude, like even the photos. We have a real picture of Lou Gehrig and then like a painting of
It looks like a baseball card.
Picture, it does.
From a baseball card.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's not fair right there. 1935, George II returned to Greece after 12 years and regained monarchy through a popular though possibly fixed plebiscite. And do you know what a plebiscite is?
I should, but I don't.
We've looked it up before, and I kind of have a vague understanding, but the definition of plebiscite, some definitions suggest that it is a type of vote to change the constitution or government of a country. Others define it as the opposite. So it's a type of voting.
Yeah.
And kind of interesting how he returned to Greece after 12 years and just so happened to win the vote. That sounds stolen. So 35 as well, Philadelphia Eagles beat Boston Redskins 7-6 at Fenway Park. Respective quarterbacks combined to throw an NFL record 11 interceptions.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds high based by your reaction.
An interception's a bad thing.
Oh.
So the defense picked off your pass. So it happened 11 times in a game.
Between the two of them combined.
Between the two of them.
Yeah.
So that's really bad.
Oh, whoops.
I mean, one interception's too much in a game for the as far as the offense would be concerned.
Yeah. 1936, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt won a second term in office, defeating Republican candidate Alf Landon in the most lopsided election in U.S. history in terms of electoral vote. That sounds like they were stealing elections back then.
FDR.
I mean, like, 4 terms consecutively, that sounds a little fishy now, when you really think about it.
Yeah.
The whole thing that happened in 2020, I don't think that was anything new. I think they've been stealing shit for well over 100 years. Guaranteed at the state level, because California is a red state by populace, but by election it's blue. I wonder why, because...
What do you mean by populace it's red?
The majority of people who live out here vote red versus blue, but because of who counts the votes, they decide what the outcome is.
No, there's
it's
the
all
Democrats. Democrats vote 2-3 to 1 to Republicans
based off of their numbers. What's the real number? What's the number that they're not telling us? I don't know. Anyway, 1937, Frenchman Maurice Archambault cycled world record for distance of 1 hour, 45.796 kilometers in Vigorelli, Milan, Italy. So within 1 hour, he went, that far. So, this is a challenge for good old David Rush.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can't hush the rush. 1941, Japanese Admiral Osami Nagano presented a complete plan for the attack on Pearl Harbor to Emperor Hirohito. So, they're getting ready.
Yeah, for next month.
Yeah. A month and change from now.
Yeah.
1942, we have the 12th day of the Battle of El Alamein. The Scottish get involved, and they get to have their own assault. Scotland forever! 1944, pro-German government of Hungary fled. Cowards. Running away from their inevitable, you reap what you sow type of thing.
Yeah.
1944, during World War II, 2 supreme commanders of the Slovak National Uprising, Generals Jan Golingen and Rudolf Wiest, were captured, tortured, and later executed by German forces. Yeah. Well, they're anti-Nazi and they paid for it. So.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yep. 1946, Emperor Hirohito proclaimed a new Japanese constitution. After we allowed him to remain in power, they surrendered and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, 48, Cleggie Hermsen and Bones McKinley each scored 17 points as Washington Capitals defeated the Philadelphia Warriors 77-70 at Washington Coliseum to win the first of 15 straight games to start season. Best start in NBA history. Wow.
What? You gotta just appreciate this thing. Bones McKinley.
Yeah.
McKinney.
McKinney.
McKinney. Bones.
That sounds like a Halloween theme named.
Must be skinny as hell or something.
You know what? Let's look him up. Let's see if he has anorexia or something. Like
Bones McKinney.
Bones McKinney. Let's get some pictures. He doesn't look that skinny.
No.
So why the hell are they calling? Maybe he's lanky. He's kind of lanky.
Yeah.
But he's not Bones.
Well, he could have been, maybe in the college days or something.
Yeah.
Was even skinnier, and once you get a nickname, it sticks with you.
Well, right here you can kind of see he's a little lanky.
Yeah, but not sticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 1952, Clarence Birdseye marketed frozen peas.
Yeah.
Yep. 1953, MLB Rule Committee restored the sacrifice fly rule, eliminated in 1939. Rule says a sacrifice fly is not charged as time at bats. Do you care to elaborate?
Wait. Kind of threw me for a loop there, the second part of it. Okay, read it again.
MLB Rules Committee restored the sacrifice fly rule. So they restored it after having been eliminated in 1939. The rule says a sacrifice fly is not charged as time at bats.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If there's a man on third, say, and you hit the ball deep enough to center field, so when the guy catches it, the runner can tag up and come home. That's called a sacrifice fly.
Okay.
And it's like a walk. It doesn't count as an at bat.
Okay. I kind of understand it, but
yeah.
1954, Ishiro Honda's giant monster movie Gojira went into wide release in Japan. The film makes a big splash, spawns 36 related titles and sequels, and it's still going. It's
3 dozen?
3. Well, it's still going.
Yeesh.
Like, Godzilla versus Mothra versus King Gojira versus this, whoever the hell the turtle guy was. Like, so much Godzilla movies, and they're still going on. Like, there was a Godzilla, like, a year or so ago, like another one. Like, they're still going. So
You won't quit.
yeah,
Don't like any of them.
Yeah, they're okay. I'm not really into all the kaijus and all that stuff. It's not my thing. So. 1955, Australia took control of Cocos Islands. Wonder if they went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or something there.
What year is this again?
55.
So Australia takes control
Of Cocos Islands.
Huh, I wonder who had it before them then.
Maybe themselves? I'm not sure.
Could have been.
We also have the first virus crystallized. This was the announcement of this thing. So they crystallized the virus for some reason.
Crystallized what virus?
That's a good question. First virus crystallized, 55. Let's see. Like what, for jewelry? Are we,
Yeah.
tobacco mosaic virus. What? Okay. Virus crystal. Virology. Okay. 1935, tobacco mosaic virus became the first virus to be crystallized. In 1955, the poliomyelitis virus was crystallized. A virus crystal consists of several thousand viruses, and because of its purity, is well suited for chemical studies. Okay, so they purified the virus for easier study.
Yeah, so they can figure out what makes it tick. How do you prevent it?
Yeah, and I think that coincides with this next article.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
Well, this was the tobacco virus was a polio thing. It said here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
It says here scientists Carlton E. Schwertz and Fred L. Schaefer announced they had crystallized the pure polio virus, meaning they can better determine the virus's chemical and biological properties. So.
But that picture there haunted me as a kid.
Yeah.
Which I've said to you many times.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I saw that. And the thing was then, you're going to be in an iron lung for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
What? I'm going to live like that? These guys, not I'm going to be.
Yeah.
But you're going to if you get polio, you're going to live like that for the rest of your life?
Just kill me.
Yeah.
Just let me go. I'd rather die, on my feet than live in a tube.
Of course, not too many years later, they got it where you could be portable and everything else.
Yeah, still you're in a tube.
Oh.
No. 1956, the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz was televised for the first time, hosted by Burt Lahr and Judy Garland's 10-year-old daughter, Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli, as the final of the Ford Star Jubilee series on CBS TV.
Oh.
All right.
First time on TV.
Yeah. 1956, Suez Crisis. After several days of fighting and the Khan unit's killings by the Israeli Defense Force in Egyptian-controlled Gaza resulted in the deaths of 275 Palestinians, Israel forces captured the Gaza Strip. Why is Israel killing Palestinians for something involving Egypt? It just keeps screaming at me what they're really wanting to do. I mean, just crazy. 56 as well. Here we go again. During the Hungarian Revolution, a new Hungarian government was formed in which many members of banned non-communist parties participated. Janos Kadar and Frederick Munich formed a counter-government in Moscow as Soviet troops prepared for the final assault. Did I make it?
I think you overshot it.
Oh, man, of course.
Yes, you did.
Ah. Well, what can I say?
Hey, a miss is a miss.
Yeah. No. 57, actually, is it even? Yeah, here it is. Soviet Union launched Sputnik 2 with space dog Laika aboard, a mostly Siberian husky, the first animal in space.
Yeah.
And did not survive.
Look at easy flying the thing.
Yeah. She. Yeah.
Looks like she's flying it.
Yeah.
No, she's not.
Yeah, well. And it didn't survive, so ain't that a bitch.
Well, I don't even know if they had any way to bring it back down to Earth, did they?
Well, not really. It burns up in atmosphere, and I'm not sure if it had enough oxygen, if it even made it to reentry. But Lakia was not going to come back.
No.
So that's unfortunate. 1960, the land that would become the Great Swamp National Wildlife Refuge was established by an act of Congress after a year-long legal battle that pitted local residents against Port Authority of New York and New Jersey officials wishing to turn the Great Swamp into a major regional airport for jet aircraft.
Oh.
Yeah, so now it's just a swampland.
Yeah.
So I hope it's still swampland today. Oh. Let's not forget, Cape Canaveral, all of that was a swampland.
Yeah, oh yeah, a lot of
just-
Florida was.
Yeah.
But one of those airports up in New York was on swampland.
JFK?
I'm not sure which one.
1961, UN General Assembly unanimously elected Hugh Thant as acting Secretary General, the third to have this position, after the death of Dag Hammarskjöld in a plane crash, becoming the first non-European individual to occupy the post.
Oh.
All right, of the UN General Assembly,
Yeah.
or of Secretary General at least of the UN.
Well, that's kind of sad. The first non-European, no one should be dominating anything.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, at least it's now the third one.
No, I got it.
So
It's good. It's a good thing.
yeah. 1962, San Francisco Warriors center Wilt Chamberlain scored 72 points in 127 to 115 defeat to LA Lakers at the LA Memorial Sports Arena. The fourth highest point total in NBA history, remains the sixth highest game total, in records. So, 72
possible
points.
I went to that game. Only possible because I went to a game with Wilt Chamberlain from the San Francisco Warriors with my dad. And I don't know if it was this one or even that year, although it was somewhere in this time frame.
I mean, talk about a heartbreak. This guy carried the team, 72 points out of 127, and he still lost. That's put in all that work for nothing, man.
Well, he averaged one season 50 points a game.
That's
Average.
amazing.
You're not kidding.
That's amazing.
You're not kidding.
Wow. 1964, for first time since 1800, so 164 years, residents of Washington, D.C. were permitted to vote. Most of them apparently voting for Johnson. So, according
I
to
still say they should have all Virginia and Maryland and everybody that's around them. All those states should consume all the land except for the actual government buildings. They should become part of states. In other words, expand the states around them to take the land that's Washington D.C.
Oh, okay.
As far as the residential areas.
So so no longer the square, just
Right.
encroach on all sides.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Each state would encompass the residential lands.
that's interesting.
That's what they should do.
That's an interesting theory right there. 1964 as well, Lyndon B. Johnson was elected President of the United States in a landslide, having won 61% of the vote and 44 states, with Hubert Humphrey as his Vice President, defeating Republican candidate Barry Goldwater. Once again, sounds like they stole it. Yeah, how do you win 44 states?
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
Look what Reagan did. I think he took all but one state.
I thought he took all of them.
He may have.
But that sounds like stealing on the other side. So, and once again, both sides, two
There are
wings.
landslides from time to time,
I don't know.
It's hard to believe in this configuration what we have today because the country's so split,
Yeah,
but not the case 50 years ago.
maybe not.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, no, I just want you to get. I can
Yeah,
hear you fine,
yeah.
but I'm not sure if they can. 1964, Philadelphia voters narrowly approved $25 million to build a new multi-purpose stadium that would become Veterans Stadium, home to MLB Phillies and NFL Eagles. I still don't, I'm not for tax dollars,
Going to
into this
stadium.
crap.
No, these guys were already super wealthy. Come on. No.
But, see,
And then have the government pay for it?
But how do you think they got wealthy? Not by spending their money. That's how. Not by not paying their fair share in taxes. 1965, Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax. How do I pronounce it? Koufax. His named Cy Young Award winner by a unanimous vote, and for a third time, posts 26-8 record, 1.73 ERA, and record-shattering 382 strikeouts. Whoa!
But you got to look at that. The ERA, 1.73.
What is
That
ERA?
Earned run average. What that means is every 9 innings he pitched, he allowed less than 2 runs.
Okay.
1.73 was the average.
That sounds pretty good.
Oh, it's really good.
All right. 1967, the Battle of Dak To began, becoming one of the bloodiest battles of the Vietnam War. Never heard of it. Dak To.
Say it again. What was it?
Battle of Dak To.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, one of the bloodiest, huh? What do you think? 68, ex-Prime Minister of Greece, Georgios Papandreou, was buried. 300,000 people demonstrated against the fascist junta. And junta is a military government.
Yeah.
I guess they took over, or maybe they
When
killed
he
him.
died or killed him, yeah, then the junta took over, I guess.
Greece.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, I assume so, because 300,000 people, protesting against it.
Yeah.
Let's see here, and this was 1968. He died. Oh wow. Well, this says 1968, succeeded by this guy, office guy. Yeah, but when did he die? Like, stop telling me all this stuff. When did he die? Oh, whatever. Anyway, 1970, Marxist Salvador Allende inaugurated as president of Chile. Uh-oh.
Not good.
I didn't want to know. 1969, U.S. President Richard M. Tricky Dick Nixon addressed the nation on television and radio, asking the silent majority to join him in solidarity on the Vietnam War effort and to support his policies. No. You know what? You can go eat that one, Richard. Like, screw your war. Screw your Watergate. Screw you, Richard. Like, freaking this guy. Like, final nail in the coffin of getting us off the gold standard and opening up trade to China. It's his. It's because of this piece of crap, this guy here, why China is the way it is today. There's no way we would have, converted them. No, they converted us. So 1970, here we go again. U.S. President Richard Nixon promised gradual troop removal of Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen.
Well, that was. Well, that's because, by then, because we had gone over this. Thank you, to Jacob Peets out there for bringing this to my information.
Yeah.
But we had won the war. It was in the can. The North surrendered. But the people said no, and the Viet Cong kept going. So then the government just said, okay, well, then I guess we'll keep going too. So maybe this is, that's why, we were going to get troops out because we won. But then we didn't win. So.
And we got out in a horrific way.
Yeah. Well, not as bad as Afghanistan.
Oh, every bit as bad as Afghanistan.
Worse.
But it's the same idea. Same type of situation.
Afghanistan was worse.
Could have been. As many as we left behind. Yeah.
Well, you didn't see people dangling from the helicopter and falling from 300 feet, did you?
Oh, yeah, you did.
That's a helicopter, not a jet, though. They're both awful, but yeah. Anyway, and since you've lived through both, I'll take you as a word for it.
Well, no, it's not a question. They're both horrific. You don't leave people behind that you promised, or even U.S. citizens. That's even worse.
Yeah.
But people that have helped you and you promise that you'll take care of them, you just ditch them. No.
Yeah.
No. And that happened to both situations. So end the conversation. Horrible.
Yeah. 1973, BYU receiver Jay Miller set an NCAA football single-game record with 22 catches for 263 yards en route to a 56-21 victory over New Mexico at Cougar Stadium in Provo, Utah. All right. 73 as well, during the Mariner program, NASA launched the Mariner 10 toward Mercury. On March 29th, 1974, it became the first space probe to reach the planet. It also took the first images of Venus.
Ooh.
So cool.
Yeah.
1975, Chris Evert became the first tennis player to achieve the #1 ranking as a WTA Tour Rankings debut. Evert held the top spot for first 26 weeks.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Oh, yeah, she's a great tennis player for the day. Before power really came into women's tennis.
Yeah. Before, the Williams sister coming in,
And Naturalova, whatever her name was,
oh,
she
yeah.
was the first one to really bring some power to the women's game.
Yeah. I swear, all the screaming and moaning they do on the court, it almost sounds like a porno. 1975, Good Morning America premiered on ABC with David Hartman and Nancy Dussault. All right. That's still going around, I think.
Yeah.
So, 75, U.S. advice columnist for Good Housekeeping Ann Landers asked parents in a mail-in survey, quote, if you had to do it over again, would you have children, end quote. 70% of participants said no. That's sad. If you had to do it over
really
again,
sad.
that's sick.
Yeah. that's.
I have a
disheartening.
feeling this is a fictitious number to try to push an agenda.
It depends on how you ask, who you ask.
Yeah.
Why would I want my kids? Oh my God, in a light moment. But it's the old thing, the old saying, I wouldn't take $1 million for my child, but I wouldn't give you a plug nickel for another one. That kind of thing.
Well, I mean, when you were younger, you didn't want a child at all, but then, life forced you to have one. And I would say it was one of the worst decisions you've ever made in your entire life.
Silence from this side. What can I tell you?
37 years later, and you have yet to get rid of him. What's wrong here? 1978, Dominica gained independence from the UK and adopted a constitution. All right. 1978, first broadcast of Different Strokes on NBC TV.
Oh, I remember that.
And for whatever reason,
it's a sitcom.
Well, it was about a white guy or something adopting some black kids or something.
I'm trying to think of exactly what it was. If that was the girls.
That was Gary
dorm.
Coleman, right?
I'm not sure.
What you talking about, Willis?
Is that
I swear that's Different Strokes.
That could be it.
Hold on a second.
Maybe right, because I'm thinking that and another
did
one that had
Gary
a girls'
Coleman
school dorm.
star in?
But I think you're right.
Show Gary Coleman. Okay. Gary Coleman, blah blah blah. Little Rascals, Different Strokes, yes.
Okay, there you go.
Arnold Jackson in the sitcom.
Okay, so that was
Different Strokes.
Yeah, the rich guy adopted 2 black kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a white natural daughter.
1978, USSR and Vietnam signed a peace and friendship treaty. Of course.
Who?
USSR and Vietnam.
Vietnam, okay.
So after we were out, Vietnam,
Yeah.
they took over Ho Chi Minh and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
1979. Now we have a little bit of a discrepancy here. We have 5 people mortally wounded during anti-Ku Klux Klan demonstration in New York City or North Carolina, not New York City, North Carolina. Now, not really much of a discrepancy, but just omitting of certain information. The Greensboro Massacre, 5 members of the Communist Workers' Party were shot dead, and 7 others were wounded by a group of Klansmen and neo-Nazis during a Death to the Klan rally in Greensboro, North Carolina, United States. So we had communists shooting upon Nazis and Klan members. Why? Just let them kill each other. Let them have at it. Let them eat each other. Leave us alone. And then we'll deal with whatever's left of them, and then make the world a better place. 1980, after acquiring MLB's Oakland A's for $12.7 million, Walter Haas Jr. appointed himself CEO, led team to 4 American League West Divisional titles and the 1989 World Series Championship.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. $11 million? That's chump change today.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering, if any sports teams have since been bought for $1 billion, and yes, there has.
Oh, many.
Yeah.
No, some of them are $2-3 billion.
Wow.
I don't know about $3 billion, but I think like the Dallas Cowboys, and it depends on the stadium owned and all that stuff. But I think they're over $2 billion.
Most expensive sports team purchased.
Most of them are going to be football.
Most expensive team tails. Purchased.
Not because they're valued today.
The Washington Commanders, $6.1 billion last year.
There you go.
Or
There's $6 billion.
The formerly known as the Redskins, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're buying the Redskins for $6 billion. Can anyone say human trafficking? Stupid joke. 1981, Milwaukee Brewers future Baseball Hall of Fame reliever Rollie Fingers. What you want to talk about? Name Rollie Fingers.
Rollie.
Oh,
Rollie Fingers.
I thought he was a joint maker.
Oh God.
6-3 record, 28 saves, and 1.04 ERA. Won U.S. League American League Cy Young Award with 22 of 28 possible first place votes.
Yeah, he was a pretty good pitcher in his day. I don't think he lasted a whole lot of years, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. Tops.
1982, San Diego guard Randy Smith played his 845th consecutive game in the Clippers' 130-111 loss in Philadelphia, passed Johnny Red Kerr's NBA record, went on to play in 906 straight games.
Good grief.
That's impressive.
You know, that's
Wow.
over 10 years because it's an 82-game schedule. That's
Yeah.
820 right there.
Man,
He did another 100, so he did it in about 12 years.
man, I can't even do one of these shows every single day for 1 year. I feel like a wimp. 82, the Saling Tunnel fire in Afghanistan caused the deaths of between 150 to 2,000 people.
It's quite a range.
Yes. This was a fire we spoke about yesterday, killing 1,000 people or something. That must have been Russian soldiers. There was 1,000 Russians
Yeah.
in the fire.
Yeah.
Well, what is Russia? What are 1,000 Russians doing in Afghanistan? It has to be the military. So, 83, Jesse Jackson launched his first campaign for presidency for the Democratic Party.
Yep.
Jesse Jackson. Why does that
Yeah,
name
yep,
sound familiar?
yep.
Was he a baseball player?
No, black
Jesse-
man.
Jesse Jackson.
I don't think he's ever in politics other than he tried to run that.
Oh,
He's-
well, he was a runner?
No,
or-
no.
why
He's
can't I
an
remember?
activist, is what I'm trying to say.
Why that? Jesse Jackson. Hold on a
He
second.
may have held office in some way.
Oh, this guy. Okay.
He may have held office.
Oh,
in
he's
some
doing
way.
the black supremacist salute
Yeah,
right there.
He's an activist,
So,
basically.
No. 1984, 3,000 people died in 3-day anti-Sikh riot in India because of this next article we're going to be reading. 84 as well, the body of assassinated Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was cremated.
Yeah, we heard
No.
about.
Yeah,
we
we've been
did it
talking about
yesterday
this for
when
the
she
past
died.
couple of days.
Yeah.
85, Bill Elliott won Atlanta Journal 500 at Atlanta Raceway, becoming the first driver to win 11 superspeedway races in one season.
Well,
Also, first driver to win $2 million in prize money in a single season. Wow.
pretty dominant.
Yeah. 86, Federated States of Micronesia signed Compact of Free Association with the U.S.
Wait. Read that again, please.
Federated States of Micronesia signed Compact of Free Association with the U.S.
I don't know what the compact means, but
Well, something about they're
so they're allowed to associate with us, trade, whatever they wanted to do,
yeah.
but independently.
The Compacts of Free Association (COFA) are international agreements establishing and governing the relationships of free association between the United States and the 3 Pacific Island sovereign states of the Federated States of Micronesia (FSM), the Republic of the Marshall Islands (RMI), and the Republic of Palau. As a result, these countries are sometimes known as the Freely Associated States (FASs). All 3 agreements next expire in 2043.
Oh, okay, they expire.
All right,
Okay.
good. Hopefully they can stand on their own, and
Well, I think they are standing on their own.
I hope so. We got to get out of other countries, things like. 1986, during the Iran-Contra affair, the Lebanese magazine Ash-Shira reported that the United States had been secretly selling weapons to Iran in order to secure the release of 7 U.S. hostages held by pro-Iranian groups in Lebanon. Yep.
Stupid. That never works.
Nope. And go see the Reagan movie. It came out this year.
Yeah.
And, it covers a little bit of that.
Yeah.
so.
You're absolutely right.
1986 as well, Northern Mariana Islands became a commonwealth associated with the U.S. The Mariana Islands, where the Mariana Trench is, the deepest point in the oceans.
Oh, okay.
That's where James Cameron, went.
So what did the islands do?
They became a commonwealth associated, so they're their own thing, but they're associated. So they're once again, they're kind of like these are different terms
On their
essentially,
own,
but not really.
Yeah.
This is a way for us to to go through a side door, like ignoring the Geneva Convention and still having colonies. Same
Their
with
Commonwealth should be they're on their own.
but they're not.
Okay.
They are, but then we also have a say over things. So as long as we don't want to say otherwise, then they're allowed to do something. It's essentially, we're their dictators because they're not allowed to vote and all that stuff. More or less kind of the same thing as Puerto Rico. Like Puerto Rico is not a state. They have to abide by our laws, but they don't really get to vote. Right?
They are U.S. citizens,
Yes.
but they don't get to vote. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's bogus.
Yeah.
So, you know what? If anything's trash, the U.S. is trash for doing that to Puerto Rico. So
My first thought with Puerto Rico is let them be independent on their own, but the vast majority, something like 80% of them, want to become
a state.
a state.
Yeah, well, let them. Screw it. Let it become a state so they can finally effing vote.
Yeah, they just do one or the other. I don't know.
Well, but this is a way, for our government to, be fascist. So, 1986, the Compact of Free Association became law, granting the federal states of Micronesia and the Marshall Islands independence from the U.S. So, but didn't we just cover that? Yeah. Yeah, we did this as well. So the federal states have been compact free, so we're covering the same thing twice. That's weird.
Very weird.
In 1987, Gordon Gould issued U.S. patent US 4704583 for the laser, ending its 30-year battle to be credited as the inventor of the laser. Well, awesome. He had to fight for that for 30 years.
Jeez.
Hey, he finally got the credit in which he...
Lucky he was still alive.
Yeah, and not lasered.
True.
Thank you for inventing this for us. We invented it. Oh, hey. 87 as well, Oakland A's first baseman Mark McGwire won American League Rookie of the Year with 49 home runs, 118 RBI, second to win AL award unanimously, the first being Carlton Frisk from 1972.
Okay, if that's his rookie year, I think that's before he started juicing.
Yes. One would think, because he got much bigger later,
Man, you look at his rookie year, and he's a normal guy, thin or whatever. But
he still has some meat,
Yeah,
but,
of course. But then you look after his juicing, the
Oh!
guy's just all bulked up. That's not natural.
No. 1988, President Reagan signed the Credit Card Disclosure Bill. That sounds good? Question mark. Like forcing them to disclose.
Yeah, I think you need to disclose certain things.
This is a whole thing.
Maybe interest rates or whatever.
I'm not sure. Anyway, 1988, Soviet Union agreed to allow the teaching of Hebrew. Okay.
That's surprising.
Yeah, well, when you get taken over. 1988, talk show host Geraldo Rivera's nose was broken as Roy Innes brawled with skinheads at a TV taping. What?
Oh, man.
What?
You're kidding?
So he got his nose broken on camera.
Apparently so.
Like, you know what? Hold on a second. Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's actual video. Break nose. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So there's actual video of this.
Sick and tired.
You gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding. Hey, hold it. Hold it. Sit down.
Whoa. Okay, that escalated quickly. Oh my god. Let's see this from the very beginning.
The reason why I do that is because I get sick and tired of hearing the sob stories from kikes. I get sick and tired of seeing Uncle Tom here.
Oh my god, okay.
Uncle Tom.
Wow! And did you say the K word?
I don't know. Roll it back again.
I kind of don't want to.
Okay, don't.
I'll just, I'll just add this in the underbar section if anybody wants to see this.
We didn't see Geraldo in the mix, but he was in there somewhere.
No, he was interviewing. He was like,
I know, but he got in there somewhere and got his nose broken.
Yeah, well, if you look at how quickly that evolved, the entire freaking building just all the old ladies are walking out. Look at Grandma and go that way. He's in there somewhere. Okay, well, that explains why that one guy, stood up, and started punching. He called. You never say the UT word. You never say the K word. Let's see here. Geraldo. Nose broken. So there's the fight. If anybody wants to see the whole thing, that was. Oh, I hope that was the last time that guy ever appeared on television. The guy who said those awful words. 1988 as well. Sri Lankan Tamil mercenaries attempted to overthrow the Maldivian government. At President Mahmoud Abdul Gayoom's request, the Indian military suppressed the rebellion within 24 hours. All right, so stuff happening in Sri Lanka. They have not been a really stable place for a while, and 1989, hundreds of Bulgarians demonstrated in Sofia for democratic rights. I agree with that. Democracy, republic, voting, all that stuff. We also have Lou Piniella was named manager of the Cincinnati Reds, replacing Pete Rose, who was banned for life for gambling in the MLB games.
Yeah.
So, And that was where is it? Here.
He died this year, I believe.
Oh, rest in peace. 89 as well. NBA expansion. Minnesota Timberwolves made NBA debut. Lost 106-94 against the Supersonics at Seattle Center Coliseum. Tyrone Corbin, T-Wolves top scorer with 20 points. All right. 89 as well. Sarunas Markelionius and Alexander Volkov became the first Russians to play in a regular season NBA game. Markelionius scored 19 as Golden State lost 136-106 to Phoenix. Volkov held scoreless in Atlanta's 126-103 defeat by Indiana. Now, I remember we had a conversation a while ago about, the legitimacy of having foreign people play for national teams. Like, how can you be the National Basketball Association if you have somebody in there not a citizen of the nation?
Why do they have to be a citizen of the nation? Are you crazy?
Well, like, then how can you represent?
Because you're playing, it's just, there's the Toronto Raptors. They're up in Canada, but they're still part of the NBA. So it's more of it's basically in this country other than Toronto.
Okay.
But you have to have all comers. You are the premier league of the world.
But then how can something be national if it's international? If there's
because they don't have, well, actually, other than Toronto, which makes the exception to the rule, because the league itself is national. That doesn't mean you can't invite people in to play in your national league.
Okay. I mean, like, that's cool and all. At the same time, though, the representation argument is kind of valid at the same time.
No, not really.
Yeah.
It's just like you go over and play in the Russian league, they will allow 2 or 3 Americans to play on their team or whatever.
But they're not Russian.
No, they would be Americans, but they're allowed to come in because
I,
you're going to them.
I don't know about that. 1990, Atlanta Hawks center Moses Malone set an NBA record for free throws made in a career by hitting 7 of 9. Sounds like a Star Trek reference right there.
Yeah.
The character 7 of 9,
No.
whatever. In a 121-120 win, oh, that's close, over the Indiana Pacers at the Omni, not affiliated with Omni Coalition. So, passed Oscar Robinson's record of 7,694. Wow. So, free throws.
Yeah.
Okay. 1990 as well, MLB club owners agreed to pay players $280 million in damages under a settlement to close the aftermath of the owner's 3-year conspiracy case against free agents, largest owner-to-player payment ever made in sports.
Ooh, that sounds major. I don't remember that.
Wow. Well, makes sense. They're trying to cover that up and everything.
Yeah,
so.
of course.
TCU quarterback Matt Volger completed 44 passes, including 5 touchdowns for the NCAA football record, 690 passing yards, and a 56-35 loss to the Houston at the Astrodome. Cougars quarterback David Klinger threw for 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Wow.
Texas Christian University.
All right. Oh, that's what TCU is. Okay. Now, I'm going to add that in here really quick. Texas Christian University. 1991, Ayrton Senna won Australian Grand Prix in Adelaide, shortest F1 race ever with only 14 laps due to wet conditions. Senna retained his 3rd World Drivers' Championship by 24 points from Nigel Mansell. All right. 1992, Carol Mosley Braun elected first black woman in the U.S. Senate representing Illinois.
Ooh.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that is.
And we spoke earlier today about the first black guy elected to Congress. And it was like in the late 1800s or something. And he was a Republican.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, aren't they usually always Democrats?
No, Republicans are the party of Ku Klux Klan. They're the party of...
What are you talking about?
The Democrats.
Oh, yeah, they are.
So the Republicans were... Lincoln was a Republican. They fought slavery. We went to war over that. So, no, it's not... You think he would be a Republican.
Okay. That just seems weird, by today's standards,
well,
or at least the past 50 years or whatever.
The perception of today's standards.
Certain communities are finally realizing the truth. About time. 1992, Democrat Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton was elected President of the United States. defeating incumbent Republican George Herbert Walker Bush and independent Ross Perot.
Yeah.
So that was the Ross Perot. That was the
Yeah.
guy that you voted for, wanted to vote for or something, right?
I believe so, yeah. Yep.
You want to tell us who Ross Perot was?
Well, he was an independent, and he's a wealthy businessman, and it really caught on, and he's probably had the highest vote getting for a third party. I think he took almost like 10%. Maybe you can pull up what his percentage of those votes were.
Ross Perot. Vote percentage 1992 election. Oh, let's see here. Let's see. Blah 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 blah.
They never give you a quick
Control
answer,
F.
do they?
Ross Perot. Here we go. 18%.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Huge. No one has come close to that.
18.9%. So.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And they say that's what gave Clinton the victory.
Ah. Okay, so he took votes away from the other guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey!
Welcome
Sir
back,
King.
Sir King.
Hey.
1992, if you want to take it.
Dianne Feinstein is elected U.S. Senate, goes on to become the longest serving female there, serving until her death in 2023.
That's 31 years. That's
Wow.
That's
Yes,
a little
wow.
long. You know, like we should not we need to figure out the sweet spot. And I don't think there really is because it'll differ from person to person. But I am completely and totally against career politicians. But at the same time, I don't want a whole bunch of numbnuts going in there with zero experience. So there needs to be some kind of middle ground. You know, like there needs to be term limits on everything. You know, so anyway, what else do we got here? Your mic.
1992, rock band Rage Against the Machine releases their debut album, Rage Against the Machine, featuring Killing in the Name.
Killing in the Name. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Oh, good song. 94. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. 93. Sorry. Almost past this guy.
Greg Maddox becomes the first pitcher since Sandy Koufax to win the National League's Cy Young Award in successful MLB season, and the first in successive seasons with different teams. Cubs 1992 and the Braves 1993.
Nice.
1994, Dutch and British astronomers find Spiral Nebula Dwingelo 1.
Let's take a look at what this nebula looks like here. Images. Here. Oh, I gotta show this to you. This is Geraldo Rivera. We covered this already, but he got his nose broke during a brawl in some kind of interview after some guy said some very racial, disturbing things. He called a black guy the UT word. Not good. And also said the K word. But yeah, this is the nebula here. So, cool. Or maybe this is what the actual photograph from the time. So that's cool. It looks like the ghost of a chicken nugget. So, yeah. What else do we got here? 1994 as well. This is a U article all the way.
1994, first PlayStation console released by Sony Interactive Entertainment in Japan.
PlayStation. Yep. 94 as well, small forward Glenn Robinson signed the then most lucrative rookie contract in NBA history, a 10-year, $68.15 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. All right. That is a lot of bucks right there.
That is a crazy amount of money.
Susan Smith, who claimed her 2 children were carjacked, was arrested for murder. So this is that lady we spoke about a while ago. Probably the inspiration for the South Park episode where Butters' mom threw him in. We have a total solar eclipse of the heart in South America at 4 minutes 23 seconds. Cool. And I'm going to rattle these off really quick here. So 1995, we have the first NBA game at Fleet Center in Boston. Celtics lost to Milwaukee Bucks 101-100. First NBA game at Rose Garden in Portland. Trailblazers lost to 92-80 to Vancouver Grizzlies. And the first NBA game at Sky Dome in Toronto. Raptors beat New Jersey Nets 94-79. All right. What do we got in another 95 here?
1995 with a 105-91 victory over Charlotte and the United Center. Chicago wins their first of the NBA record 72 games in one season for their first of an NBA record 37 home games won at the start of the season.
All right. And welcome back to Loon.
Thank you.
I'm just going to recap really quick. But all the same year, same day. First NBA game at Fleet Center in Boston, Rose Garden in Portland, and Sky Dome in Toronto.
Wow.
So boom, boom, boom. And then we have, this that King just read as well. So a bunch of stuff
So
here.
they all had new venues.
Yeah. All on the same day, though. That's really weird. So, 1996. Why don't you read this if you can?
Nah, I don't have glasses on.
Los Angeles Lakers superstar Kobe Bryant became the then youngest player to make his NBA debut at 18 years, 2 months, and 11 days, in a 91-85 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Great Western Forum. Damn right.
Yeah.
The Mamba, man.
Yeah.
San Francisco 49ers in 1996, receiver Jerry Rice grabbed 3 passes for 45 yards and a touchdown to become the first player in NFL history to reach 1,000 career receptions in a 24-17 win over New Orleans Saints. Finished career with 1,549. Woo!
It's a lot of receptions.
Yeah, well, he's
one
called
of
a
the
legend
all-time
for a
great
reason.
receivers.
Yeah. Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Wonder if he's any relation to Condoleezza.
I don't think so.
So, what else do we got here in 97? Oh, wait, hold on.
Boston?
Sorry.
You're killing me here.
I'm sorry.
1997 American racing legend Bill Shoemaker retires to the thoroughbred training with a 90 winners from 713 start record, road record 8,833 winners as a jockey before becoming a trainer in 1990.
He's also known as Willie Shoemaker.
Ah. Yeah, well, Bill William.
Bill Willie, yeah, exactly.
8,833 wins. I can't even imagine riding a horse that many times, let alone winning.
He was
Right.
a great jockey.
Really?
One of the all-time greats.
Now we can talk about this one.
1997 Boston Red Sox shortstop Nomar Garcia Parra becomes the 6th player to be unanimous choice for American League Rookie of the Year. Leads AL in hits 209, triples 11, multi-hit game 68. Also sets AL rookie record with 30-game hitting streak.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive for a rookie.
Hey, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
1997, California law ended affirmative action. Good. Stop this DEI crap. Hire by what you can bring to the table, not whatever.
Exactly. They just renamed it and repackaged.
Yeah.
Dude, I had
It's
forgotten
not
what affirmative action was.
anymore.
Before the show,
It's
I asked King
DEI
here.
now.
Yeah. Before the show, I asked King here what it was because I remembered the term, but I didn't remember what it was. It's like, oh yeah, that's just alpha form of DEI.
Well,
We
the
got
theory
rid of
behind
for
it
a
was,
reason.
giving minorities a leg up to get them back in the race, but it's too late.
Oh,
You want to give races a leg up because they're behind? Start in kindergarten.
educate them.
Educate them. Start from the beginning, bring them up to speed, and then everybody will
Because
be the
see,
same.
all you're doing.
You set them up for failure.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. With affirmative action and DEI and all that stuff, all you're doing is saying, oh, you're incapable of doing this on your own. Let me help you. Well, what? Excuse me? Excuse me?
Thomas Sowell, who you know,
Tom, great guy.
conservative black man.
Yes.
One of my heroes.
Thomas
One
Sowell.
of mine.
I saw him interviewed once, and he was a professor at Darnell, or one of the top universities in the country. And he started noticing that the black students were really, really struggling, and he couldn't figure out why. So he went back and looked, and so many of them have come in on that program when they were really intelligent and were really struggling. It's hurting their egos, and they're, producing, and they could have flourished at standard colleges. Instead, they're there under those programs, and now they're struggling.
Yep.
He says they could have gone to standard universities
Because they're not getting
and
the practice
flourished
they
and
need.
been top of their class or whatever. But just a
It was
counterpoint to
crap.
that.
So.
Yeah.
Off a main source here, in 1997, the United States imposed economic sanctions against Sudan in response to its human rights abuses of its own citizens and its material and political assistance to Islamic extremist groups across the Middle East and East Africa. So, yep.
So why aren't we doing that to China?
Well, because China owns us. So, what do we got here in 1998?
Shakespeare in Love, directed by John Madden and starring Gwyneth Paltrow and Joseph Fiennes, premieres in New York. Best Picture, 1999.
John Madden, the football guy? There's no way.
No, it's not the same guy.
Okay.
I can't. No, it wouldn't be. No way.
And that only made it in the show because I was watching a scene from Scary Movie, the parody and all that stuff. And apparently, remember Brenda? That's the name of that one of the actresses in the show, or in the movie. And she was talking during the movie. Apparently, the movie was playing. It was Shakespeare in Love. So, anyway, and then 1999. You take this, and then I'll wrap us up here.
Los Angeles Lakers debut in the Staples Center with 103-88 win over Vancouver Grizzlies. Magic Johnson and Chick Hearn co-host ceremony unveiling Lakers retired jerseys and championship banner in new building.
Yeah,
All
that's when
right.
the Staples Center opened, I guess, in 1999.
Yeah. There's a lot more history here, but we're going to wrap us up today.
We're timed out.
Yeah, well, not really. We have 11 minutes still, but I want to get back to watching Evil Dead series.
Okay.
So, that'll conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for any links that you may be interested in, including but not limited to All Things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion, and we only brought you a portion of a portion today. So please check our sources for more, including births and deaths. There's a lot of interesting things happening there, too. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows, from history to news, movie reactions and reviews, gaming, videos, and memes, on the kitchen, and everything else in between. On Talk Show, check the underbar. We might do Talk Show today, we'll see. So, for all of you and all of us, I am Mayo Xander.
King's Refuge.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU, thank you so much for watching us, and until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Deuces.
And here, and where's the other one? There you are, and you...